Greg Emberg from OddsShopper back here to break down some baseball. We got the World Series starting up, and it's been a minute since I've had to record a baseball video or had anything to talk about as it comes to baseball because we went about a week with no games, with both the AL and the NL finals finishing fairly quickly. There was a long layoff until the World Series started, and then series wrapped up on Sunday. It's a day I'm not usually working, so it's been a minute since I've talked about baseball, and I'm excited to break down some of the World Series action. And I'm curious to know, who are you guys picking to win the World Series? Phillies, Astros, let me know below in the comment section. I'm going to be giving out my bet in a second as well. And then also other prop bets for game one of the series. As you guys come in, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you want any more betting advice or just overall betting information, not just for myself, but all the other guides here on the YouTube channel, we've got a betting Discord channel. So if baseball has been the sport that you guys are betting, and you're looking for something else to bet on, we've got you covered in the Discord channel because we're covering just about every single sport that's out there. And you get 1 week free access by clicking on the link below in the description box. Good way for you guys to check out to see if that's something that is for you or not. But let's talk about game one of the World Series. Who I'm picking to win, my favorite bets. That's coming up right now. So to start us off heading into game one, I'm going to give my pick for the World Series, and that's the Houston Astros. I'm not doing anything crazy here. The Astros are the favorites, and I think more than rightfully so, because if we look at Houston, I think they have the advantage in every single aspect of this World Series. Home field advantage, that goes to Houston. Hitting, that goes to Houston. Pitching, both starting pitcher and relief, I also think that goes to Houston. So just looking at some of the numbers here for the Astros, they had a 112 WRC plus in the regular season. The Phillies were at 106. So a little bit of a lean there towards the Houston Astros. As for the top of the Phillies pitching rotation, Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, it's great. But the back end of the rotation for the Astros, it's also really good, whereas the Phillies rotation kind of starts to drop off after the first couple of pitchers, because the top of the Astros pitching rotation, we've got Framber Valdez, we've got Justin Verlander, just as good as the top of the rotation for the Phillies. But then at the back end of the rotation, that's where you start to get guys also like Lance McCullers, another guy who has postseason experience and is a guy who has been an all-star caliber starting pitcher at times. And that's when you get somebody like him matching up against Ranger Suarez. That's a big advantage in favor of the Houston Astros, even once the series moves over to Philadelphia. And then also you've got young pitchers on the team like Luis Garcia. He's a very capable starting pitcher for Houston. So this is a spot where I really do think Houston, as far as the starting pitching goes, the depth is really going to play in their favor in this series. And then also look at some of the bullpen numbers this year, because the Astros bullpen was terrific this year. And the Astros, I also think, have the better bullpen of the two teams. And then, by the way, also I mentioned this at the top, but it matters that Houston's at home. The home team, it's just a little bit slight advantage heading into this playoff series, because Houston playing at home, it's kind of more a human element thing. And there's a lot of studies that have been done, like, why does home field advantage matter? And it's just a human element in terms of an umpire, a referee, whatever it might be. They're a little more swayed by the home field crowd, and it's something that makes calls go more often in the direction of the home team. It's not a situation where it's like, oh, a team's playing at home and it's a video game and they just get some blind boost or anything like that. It's because they get calls more frequently from umpires in these kind of situations just playing at home. So that's where the crowd does have an influence. But now also just looking at these teams as a whole, like I said, I think that the Astros, every single advantage goes to them. They're also playing at home. I know they're minus 185 on the money line to win the series. I think it could be wider. I think it'd be minus 220, minus 230. So my pick to win the series, I'm going with the Houston Astros. For my first prop bet of the game, I'm looking at over 5.5 strikeouts for Justin Verlander, and just too low of a number for a pitcher in Verlander, who is going to win the American League Cy Young this year and was just ridiculously good throughout the course of the regular season. 1.75 ERA, 2.49 FIP, 2.66 expected ERA, and of course, the strikeouts were solid for Verlander as well, as he finished the year with a 27.8% K rate. In the playoffs, I know he's given up some runs to this point, but a lot of it was just because he had one bad start in his first outing of the postseason. He's only pitched 10 innings. It's a really small sample size for Verlander in the postseason here. But still, this year in the playoffs, in the limited sample size of 10 innings, the strikeouts have been there. He's a 31.1% K rate. He's striking out well over a hitter per inning. And that's where I think this 5.5 prop is too low, especially when you consider Verlander is going to be rested. All of the pitchers are going to be rested heading into the series. These teams haven't played for nearly a week. So that's going to help Verlander. He should have a potential, at least, for a little bit extra velocity right out of the gate. Adrenaline also playing a role. And you just look at some of the numbers for Verlander over the course of the regular season, you hardly saw games where he had less than 5.5 strikeouts over the course of the entire season, or at least down the stretch of the season. He only had one start since August 4th where he had less than 5 strikeouts in any one individual outing. So this is a low number. It's something we've been hammering all postseason. Anytime we get these stud starting pitchers with strikeout props that are way lower than what we had in the regular season, I like taking the overs. I'm about to talk about Aaron Nola as well, but right here, Justin Verlander over 5.5 strikeouts. Today's show is sponsored by BetMGM, and if you guys do not have a BetMGM account, you're missing out because you want to have accounts at multiple different sports books just to make sure that you're comparing lines at multiple different books to make sure you're getting the best number possible. And when you sign up at BetMGM for the first time, they're going to be giving you $200 basically for free right out of the gate. All you have to do is click on the link below in the description box, and then you head on over to BetMGM. And when you place a $10 money line bet on any NBA game, it pays out $200 as long as there's a three-pointer hit. So it's going to happen. There was a three-pointer hit in every single game last year. It's $200 for free. This is a no-brainer deal. If you guys haven't signed up at BetMGM, don't leave $200 on the table. Sign up right now and click on the link below. Next prop I like, and it should come as a surprise to nobody who's been watching my videos over the course of the postseason. Well, that and I also alluded to when I was talking about Justin Verlander, but over 5.5 strikeouts for Aaron Nola. Him in the playoffs, he's been solid. 25% K rate so far for Nola in the playoffs. That comes with a 3.12 ERA and a 3.06 FIP, building off of what was a really, really good regular season for Nola. 3.25 ERA, 2.74 expected ERA. He led all National League pitchers in wins above replacement, worked a whole bunch of innings, 205 to be exact, 29.1% K rate in the regular season. I don't really see any negatives when it comes to Aaron Nola, other than the matchup against the Houston Astros. Obviously, it's a difficult one, and anything could go wrong on any one individual game. But looking at Nola to finish out the year, he was so good. And also, like I said, he's been really good in the playoffs. But his final starts of the regular season, 9 strikeouts, also against this Houston Astros team. So the last time he pitched against them, 6 2/3 shutout innings with 9 strikeouts, no walks in that start. And then other starts to finish the year, 8 against the Cubs, 8 against the Braves, 8 against the Braves again. And that was most of the regular season for Aaron Nola. He only had, I believe it was 7 starts the entire year out of 32 regular season outings that he did not have at least 6 strikeouts. So Nola's been a great strikeout pitcher all year. He's also been a great real-life pitcher. He's worked deep into games very regularly. The only time he really left a game early was he had one start against the Nationals where he was dealing with a little bit of an injury, came out after 2 innings. Other than that, we were generally getting 6, 7 innings in almost every single start from Aaron Nola. The strikeout stuff was always there. Obviously, the matchup is hard, but it's way overcompensated in the strikeout prop. This shouldn't be a 5.5 prop. It should be 6.5, maybe even 7.5. That's where Nola was all over the course of the regular season. So next bet here, over 5.5 strikeouts for Aaron Nola. So recapping my bets heading into the World Series, I'm taking the Astros to win outright, minus 185. And then for props in game one, Justin Verlander, over 5.5 strikeouts. Aaron Nola, over 5.5 strikeouts. I know maybe it's getting a little tiring hearing me talk about it, but they've been so profitable for us over the course of the postseason. I can't stop them now. So over on both the pitcher strikeout props in game one. Other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoy the World Series. Let me know who you're picking to win below in the comment section. And also, before you leave, like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel.